leg day. Best day of the week, or best days if you're like me and do it multiple times a week. Anyways, I'm going to make this intro super short and sweet because we have a long, fun, hard workout ahead of us. So let's go do that.
As always, did a little bit of cardio to warm up. Just did 5 minutes on the treadmill on an incline. Now I am doing some light body weight exercises to really wake up those leg muscles before we move into anything heavier. So I am doing these fun little side step squats. So it's a bit hard to tell, but my foot actually never hits the ground. I'm fully balancing on that one leg, which is a great way to really feel this in those side glute muscles, your gluteus medius, and that for me is an area that I struggle to activate, and so is always something I like focusing on in my warm-ups. So did 10 of those per side, and I'm now doing 10 kickbacks per side. I am turning my foot slightly outwards because I find that that's another thing that helps activate that gluteus medius for me. So doing 10 of those per side, and then dropping the resistance band and getting ready for some weights. Now that we're all nice and warmed up, we're going to start on the fun stuff. So I am doing 4 sets of barbell squats, but instead of doing all 4 sets with the same rep counts and the same weights, I am mixing it up. So each set is going to have a different rep count and a different amount of weight on the bar. So I am starting off on the relatively light side. I have picked a weight that I know that I can comfortably accomplish 10 reps of. So that's how this first set is going. So I'm going to knock out 10 reps of these. And then once I've done that, I am going to switch to a heavier weight. And then going to jump right back in, and I'm going to knock out 8 reps with this heavier weight. So kind of using that weight change period kind of ends up doubling as your rest, so it ends up being very high intensity because you are constantly moving, so heart rate is going to be very high here. Continuing to increase the weight again, so now I am at a pretty challenging weight, and so I'm doing 5 reps. I have kind of maxed out on what I can comfortably accomplish and keep my form good, and then now I am dropping the weight significantly, so I'm going to a much lighter weight than even the one that I started with, and I'm going to knock out 15 reps. And it's really fun because now after all of this, like gradually getting heavier, you are moving into something much lighter, and whoo, you're really feeling the burn in so many different ways. It's a fun one. And now that same thing that we were doing with squats, we are now doing with hip thrusts. So I have got my nice little setup. I really have found that I like using the step as opposed to a bench whenever possible because there's a little bit more flexibility on the height, and so I can make it a bit more natural for my height versus the bench, which you know is a standard size. So anyways, I have a relatively light weight. I did a total of 10 reps, just like the way I did it the last time, and I have upped the weight, and I am now going to knock out 8. Alright, please watch me struggle. I swear changing weights for hip thrusts on the ground is just the most complicated thing, and I am so bad at it, but you know, we're doing it for the booty gains. So you know, heaviest weight, we've got 5 reps, really focusing on that squeeze at the top, and now taking all those weights back off again. So once again, going to lighter than even what I started with, and I'm going to knock out a full 15 reps, and you know, glutes are on fire at this point. So this is a really, really fun way to mix up your sets so that you just don't feel like you're doing the exact same thing 4 times. Man, this looks weird sped up. Alrighty, and then changing gears a little bit, moving over to the cable machine. First up, I am doing 3 sets of 12 cable pull-throughs. So basically, you're just hinging at the hips and then using your hamstrings and your glutes to really drive that standing up motion. Important to keep your arms relaxed so that you're not, making this a super upper body intensive movement. All of this motion should come from your hips, and you get that nice little squeeze at the top. And then switching around, grabbing back onto that rope. This is a superset, so no break in between. And doing cable RDLs. And so I kind of do these a little weird, I think. Because I lean back so far, which really, really helps me feel it in my hamstrings and glutes, and I really, really, really get a good stretch. So I love that, and I'm just going to do 10 reps of this, and that is that full superset. The final exercise set of this workout is over on the Smith machine, and I know I literally just said how much I don't like using the bench for hip thrusts, but when you're working with a slightly lighter weight, it works. So I am just doing these single leg marching hip thrusts. So basically all of that force is going through that leg that stays on the ground, and the other one just kind of lifts up and does a little march thing. So I am doing 8 per side, and then I'm hooking the Smith machine back up so that I can do a quick little switcheroo. And you can witness the most awkward transition between exercises that, I think I've ever had to put on camera. But this second exercise is so good, and I love it so much, and it's something I've kind of forgotten about until recently, and I have rediscovered it, and I love it so much. It is these kickbacks on the Smith machine. So you get a lot of resistance because it's that whole bar that you're lifting up, but it's on a track, so, kind of keeps that range of motion relatively limited. This one does take a little bit of practice, just trying to figure out where your foot goes. I typically try to put the heel on the bar and then trying to figure out how to push so that you don't accidentally end up hooking it back in, because I have done that a lot. But once you get it, it is such a good one. So, 3 sets of 10 of those. Both of those exercises are done back to back because this is a superset and we love those. So do all 3 sets of that, and then that is the end of the workout. So now I am just, over in my little corner doing some static stretching, because this is just something that I have found is really, really, really good for me, not only in the sense that it helps my flexibility, and I am trying to get back to like cheerleader day level of flexibility, but also in the sense that it helps limit soreness and kind of makes sure that I'm not doing anything wonky given the fact that I'm lifting large amounts of weight. So always a good thing. And then some final stats for you.
That is it, even though, I haven't moved. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more workout videos like these, you can hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys next week for next week's video. Bye.